Welcome back to Maker's Journey Workshop. I'm Benjamin Davies. And today, we're making a Celtic cross. And I can't think of a better week to be making one. It's Holy Week. So, we want to knock one of these guys out. Luckily enough, Carson came down here the other day and showed me how to move and groove and make these rings with confidence. And he made it so easy. I'm confident with just a little bit of practice, you can break it down too. I'm going to try to share as much of the information that Carson gave me the other day. And that way, it makes it easy for you. He gave me a lot of good tips and tricks. And so, we're going to get started. The sizes you'll need for this, 12, 12, and 9. So we'll need 12 for our ring. We'll need 12 for the vertical part of the cross. And then we'll need 9 for our cross section. I know many of you may be like, well, I don't know how to forge weld yet. I'm not going to do that. We don't do a lot of forge welding in the shop because it's so messy and rough on our forge. We're going to make a cold forge, or we're going to explain the basics in the future. But for today, we're just going to use the electric welder because we know most of you probably have access to that at home, and it's okay. We can blend it. And one of the things that Carson liked was he mentions he likes to put his weld in one of these areas to where it's going to be seen. Kind of sticks out, lets you know that it's not manufactured, man-made. All right, our metal's heated up, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to work it from one end, and we're looking to make the shape of a J. So you're looking for a J. Real quick, heat's going to be your friend here. Don't let it get too cool because after a while, you're just going to wrestle it, especially if you're trying to bend on the wide side like we're doing here. That's the difficult side. It wants to get all woppy-jawed and wonky, and that's just going to happen. Heat's going to be your friend. Go back and forth to the heat. I only tell you this because I'm bad to do this myself. I'm trying to maximize each step as much as I can. So currently, we're right in the middle of a 30 for 30 day challenge, something we came up with to do 30 YouTubes in 30 days. Our goal, provide as much value as possible. We're getting ready to go right into show season, and so we're trying to show you how to crank out some things that you can forge at home without the use of power hammers or hydraulic presses, being creative. This is another one I'm so grateful Carson shared with us. This thing is amazing. It'd be awesome if you'd smash that subscribe button, and then also, if you know somebody you think would enjoy it, share it with them. All right, let's get back to our show. Thank y'all for being here. All right, first letter, J. We'll stick it back, go from the other side, make a C. All right, so the end of that last heat, that was ugly. And so many times as a beginner, I would get that far in a project and I would scrap it and I would go and start over. But don't do that. There's this little part in the middle where you start out strong like our J looks pretty and you're like, all right, cool, I'm on my way. And then all of a sudden, sometimes you get in the middle of a project and it's like, what happened? Where did I go wrong? There's always, not always, a lot of times there's an ugly part right in the middle of a project. It's kind of similar to life. It kind of gets uglier before it gets pretty sometimes. And so, just stick with it. What you're going to want to focus on as you're forming up that seat, it's going to come around. Don't forge it. We're forming it. So you're wanting to hang that off the horn and bend it around the horn. If you notice, you're making a solid connection. When you strike that piece we're trying to make into a ring and you feel pressure from the backside of the horn, that means you're forging it now, which means you're thinning out your metal, and you don't want to do that. It's going to happen. You're going to do that once or twice. That's fine. Just be aware of it. Don't keep driving away that way. All right, so we got our ring forged up. Overlapped a bit strong there. I'm overlapped by about an inch, which means we're just gonna have to draw that out to bring it back down to 1/4 inch on the way down. We're gonna go ahead and weld this guy up. We're gonna stick 4 welds in it, one on this side, one on this side, one on the top, one on the interior. Try to do your welds as clean as possible. Another thing that's gonna work in our favor if you're working with a smaller welder is this guy's pretty warm right now. And so it's gonna take the weld really well, no pun intended. And we'll get it back in there and forged up. Another thing we're gonna go ahead and do, here's our 9-inch cross section. We're gonna go ahead and stick it in the fire while we weld. And that way it's warming up for us. If you're making several of these crosses, do all your rings at the same time. Do all these pieces at the same time. It'll go that much faster and you'll have better, more consistent quality results throughout your pieces. And that's what you want. Our circle got forged up pretty good. I can't believe how well that turned out. Our overlap was a bit aggressive, so we really had to draw that down to get pretty close back to 1/4 inch. But the trick there with the circle is hit the same spot every time. Rotate your circle, be hitting on the same spot over the horn. Don't chase it or you'll just end up with a weird shape, but that's pretty awesome. So very pleased with that. Our next step, we're gonna set this aside on the top of the forge to keep it warm because we still want it malleable, not forging temperature, this color right here, and we're gonna make our U. For our U, we're not gonna center punch it. We're just gonna start bending it over the horn, bending it over the edge of the anvil, and I'll show you a few ways, if you get out of line, how to bump it and get it back to symmetrical. From here, we're pretty much downhill. We've got our U made, and now we're gonna get everything set up on the anvil, and that way we can go straight to work as we come out of the forge with our U. Like I said, this part and the vertical member of the cross is going to be warm, toasty. Definitely don't want to touch it, but we're not looking for forging temperature. We just want it a little malleable, a little willing to bend. And so we're gonna stage that, and I'll show you here in our next scene, and we're gonna make sure our U fits, and then we'll come straight out of the fire with our U, and we should fit up and everything should be downhill from there. I think we're at a good temperature now. We're gonna drill it up, we're gonna do some center punching, and I'm gonna show you how to put this together to where we can put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rivets in it and make sure everything's squared up. Pretty cool trick. It's really simple and staring you right in the face. So you're just gonna wanna line it up, make sure it looks square. Everything kind of looks where you want it. There you go. And now we're going to be able to go and put the first 1, 2, 3, 4 rivets in it. All right, we got it all drilled up, put together. We're going to drill our last hole. The 4 bolts are going to hold it together. Apologies about the light today, you can't see it well. Wind is crazy here in Shelby today, and so I'm just having to use shop lights. It's knocking everything else over. We're going to drill that last hole and tighten everything up. They're 1/4 inch holes, that's what I had available. And the cool thing about this is we can set the rivets after we kind of flare these up. And so I'm just going to go through and kind of put some fishtail flares, just widen them out of the tip. Just a little small thing that's going to give a little bit more character. And then I'll go back and I'll put my rivets in 1 by 1 after I've polished everything up. And that way my rivets come out unscathed. I've got 3/16 copper rivets, but I don't have any 1/4 inch. I think some copper or brass would look killer here. But we're just going to go with some steel rivets today and make it work. All right, we got it forged up and we add a little bit of character to it. What we're going to do now is we're going to take these bolts out 1 by 1. As we take the bolts out, we're going to countersink the backside and I'm going to set the rivets cold. I can do this up to about 5/16 and have success with it for some of this smaller stuff, and it's a nice way to assemble it. Side note, if I wanted to stick these in that tumbler we talked about in the video right here, I would get to this point and then I would mark everything on the backside, A, in a way that I could tell how it was assembled back together. I'd make sure I had a map. And if you're doing 5 or 6 of them, B, C, 1, 2, and shove them all in the tumbler, and then I would rivet them together. And if you're going to set your rivets cold like I'm going to do, you don't have to worry about any discoloration that's going to be happening, especially with your non-ferrous rivets like your copper or your brass. They're so soft anyways that you can set those cold with ease. So I'm going to take these apart and replace them 1 by 1 with some rivets. Oh, we get to use our Infinity Hardy tool also, so don't forget to use your Infinity Hardy tool. we got it all riveted up. Didn't have time to shine it up today. It's 6:30. I got some editing to do. But man, it looks killer. I like the fact, and you'll get that same kind of overlap if you forge weld it to where it's staying in there. Carson likes it. If you don't like it, you can hide it behind one of these other crosses. You can rotate your circle, rotate your ring. But another thing to remember as you're forging these, try not to go too deep with your cross peen hits, and that way you can smooth and planish them out. Something I've always struggled with, because I'm just trying to move the metal really quick, is I'm just wailing away. What I really focused on in that bit was taking my time and trying to make sure I was distributing my hammer blows evenly to the left and the right to spread that finial. I kind of struggled on the first one, but on the last three, I felt like they went pretty smooth. I love having the rivet bucks to protect your rivets. It's a cool piece. So we'll get back and we'll edit this up, and thank y'all so much for being here, and we'll see y'all tomorrow.